All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
Check, 59. You ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing.
And a give this time to the tailback. And not the start he was hoping for there, as he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Call it no gain on the game's first play. And it's second down now. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, second and 10.
Watch the run.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4.
Big stop, let's go. Strip the ball. Strip that ball.
From the gun, here's Watson. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 41, and he will return this one to the 30-yard line. He's going through a rough patch throwing the football. 4 interceptions in that loss last week. Opening drive starts the game with a pick here.
But we did spend time with the head coach and the offensive coordinator and asked him, what did you see on tape? What did you see on film? And they talked about mechanics, making sure that he gets his feet underneath him, doesn't overstride, does a better job taking care of the football. And I think they're as shocked as anyone to see the first one of the game here in this one.
Yeah, he needs to start heeding their advice.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
On second down now, Hilliard about 3 yards there to the 27. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on third down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
On third down, Mayfield. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
And this one is no good. He missed it. And this will remain a scoreless game.
I tell you, it's not easy kicking field goals in the best of conditions. You add in a downpour like we're in right now, it makes it that much harder. And sure enough, they can't convert here.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Well, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
We ain't giving up nothing, Jack.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And that'll make it 3rd and 13.
Check, right in 50 yard. Check, 53 is right. Cut. Watch the twist.
A shotgun snap for Watson. And that is incomplete. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. It's a return of 5 following a punt of 42 yards. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. The Browns drive about to get started. The partner just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season. The playoffs are not in their future as they start to peer toward the offseason. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. T.J. Watt has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his off-season, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
Well, a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. Just what the Browns needed there. Good for a gain of 17.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically, but a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
A first down throw from Mayfield, and he's got the hook up to Landry. A gain of 6 there on first. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Mayfield looks to throw. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Gets by him, and now a little daylight. And now off to the races, down the right side. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Antonio Callaway, his 5th touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Following the touchdown, Badgley out there to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. They'll run it now out of the gun. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson connects here with a tight end, Blake Jarwin. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Right about 20 yards on the pickup. Officially, they'll say it's going to go for 19. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down. Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
What we got? 49.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. So now facing a 3rd and 16 following back-to-back running plays that went in the wrong direction.
Check. 53's Mike. Check.
Out of the gun, Watson. Looking for Johnson, and it's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 46. There he goes, right side. And he'll score. Touchdown, Browns.
Keep it running.
Did I just see what I thought I saw? Did I just see what I thought? That had to be. Come on, say it for me. Say it for me. Who picked up that pass?
The free safety.
Oh, you got to have those great skills back there. Eyes, anticipation, great hands. And, of course, how about the fluid moves afterwards to take it all the way to the house?
Sounds like you're watching your old game film up here in your head.
Yeah, that's the dream I had of being that player. I just never was.
And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line.
At their own 23-yard line.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that off. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Joe Schobert. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Browns defense has a touchdown. So now 2 pick sixes that he's thrown in this first half of play. Where do you go from here?
Well, number one, make sure you keep your poise. Make sure you go to the sideline after throwing this second one, and you look like you're still in charge, that you're still the guy, because your team's going to feed off of you. And if you're having your hands on your head or shaking your head, walking with your head down, guess what? They're not going to rally at all.
This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
I know, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've got nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Check 59, Mike. Mike is 59. Mike to 59. Oh, yeah, I'm coming. Oh, yeah.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 47-yard line.
Here we go. Set. 56 the outlaw. Watch the out. Watch the out. Check the backer. Check the backer. Set up.
Now a handoff looking right. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
Here's Watson. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. So a couple of first downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The Browns drive about to get started. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
Alert! 55. Hey, Zoo.
On the run, this is Hilliard. 2 yards gets them back to where they started, but now 3rd and 10.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Here we go. You got tight. You got tight. King.
Mayfield from the gun on 3rd down. And he will find Ridley. That's complete. And they will rally and stop him short of the first down. They get him to the ground at the 26. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. 46 yards on the boot. The coverage holds him to just 3 on the return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Watson operating from the gun. They'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Play 3 of the drive not as successful. They go backwards after those 2 first down gains. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Loss of a yard, bringing up 3rd and 12.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. The last 2 plays each lose a yard. They'll try to move forward here on 3rd and 12. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
The Steelers send out their punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. And now the up man has it. It's a fake. And the gamble pays off. They get the first. That goes for 15 yards on the fake, a first down. And a lot of fist pumps right now on that sideline. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And to give this time to the tailback. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line. Now it appears we have a Steeler here slow to get up. We'll check on his status when we get back. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Watson now to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. 9th play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. Now Watson from the gun, he'll throw. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. A first opportunity for the Steelers in the red zone. They're looking at a 1st and goal from about the 9. Operating from the gun, Watson toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal.
I'm here all day.
Watson. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is when force meets force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off. A nice job forcing the contact and forcing the incompletion.
Yeah, Coach Ford would have loved that play.
Now Watson on 3rd and goal. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete. Jordan Lewis right there on the coverage. Well, so a drive that spans all that time, and yet you may only come away with 3 points here.
Well, your defense, all right, they actually like these long drives. They get to rest over on the sidelines for a while. But when you're not finishing with points in terms of touchdowns, that's frustrating. They've got to figure out how to close out these long drives and get 6s instead of 3s.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Browns drive about to get started. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on 1st down. And it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops. And if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This will be taken to the back of the end zone.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
The Browns drive about to get started. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Mayfield down. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. A gain there of 30 big ones.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45.
Hey, alert 33.
Mayfield to throw it. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
Alert, alert. Hey, exit. Check 55.
On 2nd down, Mayfield again. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And this is taken in at the 5. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. Here's Badgley now to try to add the PAT. And the lead is now 24. Following the touchdown, Badgley out there to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line.
Let's go.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper. And they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them. He's got a man complete. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete. Johnson was the intended receiver, but it'll be 2nd down.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. Demarius Randall that time there to knock it free. So now 3rd and 10, a big play to start the drive, but nothing since.
You can't block me. 53 is the mic. 53 is the mic. Watch the pass.
Again, it's Watson. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. The Browns drive about to get started. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments. That's someone who's pretty happy right there. That's the defense coordinator. Body after body getting to him before he can get started.
2nd and 9 now from the 21. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Here we go, G, get off the field.
Working out of the gun, Mayfield. And he's got this one complete to Callaway. And he will get him down a couple yards shy of the 1st down marker. A nice tackle coming up from his free safety spot.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
That'll be a 44-yard boot, just a yard on the return as he's covered up quickly. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. Here's a quick hitch route and the throw complete. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh 1st.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down. Executed it to perfection.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
Now a 1st down throw, Watson. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Johnson, the intended target, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
And attempted a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10.
I can't believe they even let you go.
Throwing again is Watson.
I got you, boy.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. He's picked off at his own 46. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line. They'll run on 1st down. Hilliard. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
I got him.
Now Mayfield running left on the option. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Go.
Now a carry here for Hilliard. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
And a 5-yard gain as he's down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Call that a gain of 5 as the clock ticks inside of 2 minutes to go now in the 3rd. The 22 is the line to gain here on 3rd down. From the gun, Mayfield. Catch made, it's Moreau. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
A 40-yard attempt.
Badgley able to punch this one through. And that will extend their lead even further. So he missed that field goal earlier, but he says not this time. Able to knock it through, give his guys 3.
I like his poise. I like his confidence, his belief in himself. Sometimes when you miss that first one, you see a lot of guys sag and they can't make the next one. Not in this case. Stepped right up like a pro.
Let's go. First and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up. Yeah. Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
3rd and long. It's Watson. And that one not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time has now run out on this 3rd quarter of play. Back now here on EA Sports. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. It's a 45-yard punt, but a decent return there of 9 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Browns drive about to get started. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number 1 for what we've seen this season.
No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. Well, the 2 men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Mike 5'9", Mike 5'9". That's right, baby. They don't want it.
Watson now throwing again. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
This is Johnson. He's got it. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
3rd and 10 wasn't going to be easy. Now after the holding penalty, they have to deal with a 3rd and 20. He's going to air one out. And they almost had another one. They are all over the football in this game. Nearly another pick. Now 4th down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
For the Browns, good starting field position as they have it 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
On 2nd and 12, Mayfield. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A good pickup there for the Browns, 15 yards. Mayfield now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Here's Hilliard. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
At the 38-yard line.
180! Watching the grind. We own it. We own it.
They'll run again with Hilliard. And a solid run down inside the 30. A nice job there as he rumbles for 9. And it'll be back to a 3rd and 3.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Mike, 55. Hey, Echo. 55. You're not ready. You're not ready. Check.
On 3rd down, Hilliard. Oh, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. He needed 3. He got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard. And he missed it. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Well, they can probably live with that with this late lead in the 4th quarter. That's one of the few things that's gone wrong.
You're exactly right. This one was well in hand. That kick there was more for cosmetics, to add to their score. Not getting it, that shouldn't harm them at all.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by the former first-round pick, Demarius Randall. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
At their own 39-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the fourth quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. Know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance, where they took control of this game, how they've managed to keep control of this game, and then we go ahead and think about how we're going to leave here and get to the airport. In a lopsided blowout, the roads are usually open.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Not today.
Back to the ground. This time it's Chubb. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
I have zero rooting interest in either team in this game. I only want a good game. But with all the offense we've seen from them tonight, it's kind of nice to see the defense step up and make a big play.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were ever going to get him in the backfield. Nice to see him get a stop. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Steelers are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yes.
And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
The Browns drive about to get started. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. And they take a knee. So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for Cleveland, the win gets them to 5-9 now on the year. And they'll have another road date next week with the Detroit Lions. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, their slim playoff hopes are gone now as they fall to 5-9. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel to Denver to take on the Broncos. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.